Tonight, NCEA results for 2022 released. New system for customs, Asikura. Kaloflayatu, I'm Sarai Mangawa and welcome to BCN News. Leading our news tonight, Niue's active number of COVID-19 cases have significantly dropped to fewer than 20 cases in the past week. As the island transitions back to its normal before the spike in cases had occurred over the festive season, health and government officials are still continuing to advise the public to remain vigilant and practice precautionary COVID-19 measures. Here's more on this story. According to yesterday's latest COVID-19 results, 0 cases were detected. Meanwhile, 2 of the previously active cases of COVID-19 have now recovered. This has brought the total number of active cases on the island at the moment to 18. Niue has recorded a total of 741 cases of COVID-19 since the virus first entered the borders in March 2022 last year. 723 of the cases have been recovered. Members of the public are encouraged to complete a rapid antigen test if experiencing COVID-like symptoms such as a cough, runny nose and sore throat, and to inform the Niue Public Health Department if you have tested positive. The Niue High School NCEA results for 2022 were released yesterday at the education retreat held at Scenic Matavai Resort. Compared to previous years, the performance for the students in NCEA Level 1 have significantly improved. However, it was unlike for levels 2 and 3, where the pass rate had a drop reduction of up to 15%. Despite the lower pass rate for the NCEA senior levels, Principal Charles Yawane said he is still happy for the results from last year. Here's more on this story. The principal's nominee for Niue High School, Joyce Labatard Nevalangi, presented the NCEA results for 2022 yesterday morning. For NCEA Level 1, 92% of the students passed. This is the first time in 10 years since 2012 that the pass rate had reached over 90%, which is a major improvement. Compared to the results for the senior students with NCEA Level 2, where the results showed a drop in pass rates. There was a 10% drop in students who passed Level 2 from 89% in 2021 to 79% in 2022. For the NCEA Level 3, there was a 15% drop in pass rate from 93% in 2021 to 78% in 2022. The results for students who gained their university entrance (UE) for 2022 showed only 35% who passed. This is the first time in 14 years since 2008 that the pass rate for university entrance has dropped to below 40%. Despite the lower pass rate for the NCEA senior levels, Principal Charles Yawane said he is happy for the results from last year.
Like every other year, I am proud of the results, even though the results are a bit down this year for some levels. I take that with understanding of what went around or what happened last year at school. It was a difficult year. Like I said earlier, no excuses, but it's, we got to understand that learning is holistic, learning is lifelong. So I'm sure that the students this time around that didn't do as they expected have learned a tough lesson, and that going forward that they'll be better for the experience. Yeah.
Staying with education, high teacher turnover is something that is impacting the education sector in some countries, including Niue. BCN News was able to speak with both the Director of Education, Berfa Tongahai, and Niue High School Principal Charles Yawane at the education retreat held yesterday. Both highlighted the discourtesy of teachers leaving for holiday but with late notice of not returning to the island, adding more to the staffing issues. Here's more on this story. Director of Education Berfa Tongahai said that despite losing several teachers at the end of last year, she has been assured by the principals of the 2 schools on the island that every class will have a teacher and the schools are ready for the start of the school term on Monday next week.
Niue is not the only country facing severe teacher crisis. New Zealand and other places in the Pacific But we managed to do the interviews and to fill all the vacancies. Some of our teachers went on holiday and did not return. So, as that's a bit discourteous. So I've already told them, if you're planning to migrate next year, let us know in advance so we can prepare ahead. But for the time being, some of our teachers will be late returning. But at the moment, I've been reassured by the principals that all the classes have teachers. So we're looking to open term 1 on the 30th of January 2023. And if you know of anyone who are looking for a teaching job, we're hiring at the moment.
Since the release of the results of the NCEA external exams revealed a high failure rate for the senior students of Niue High School, BCN News is aware of some parents who are very concerned at the practice of allowing student teachers to teach NCEA level courses. These are student teachers with no qualifications, and some were recently just students at Niue High School themselves. BCN News reached out to the Public Service Commission with questions regarding the use of student teachers as full teachers in the classroom, and if this is something the government's employing authority supports, but did not receive a response from the Commission in time for this bulletin. The government yesterday officially recognized the completion of the project to install, train and start the implementation of the automated system for customs data widely known around the world as Asikura. The introduction of this system will bring Niue in line with the international trading community using an automated information platform that will make it easier for the government to track and collect revenue and improve the data entry of exporters and importers on the island. Here's Esther Bavihi with more.
A debrief meeting of the steering committee for this project was held earlier this week, attended by the Minister of Finance and Customs Honourable Crosley Tatui, and included officials from the Office of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Chamberlain Peter of Customs Department is the project manager. He explains to BCN News what the system is for.
Asikura is an automated system for customs data. It's developed by the United Nations Conference Development on Trade, UNTAD. So it's something new for Niue, and it's a very exciting journey on this project. There's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits for not only customs or the government, but there's a lot of benefits to our private importers and stakeholders, benefit holders. These benefits will be varies from less printing, less traveling. You can use this system while you're not on the island. So it's a very good system for all the stakeholders.
On the practical implementation of the collection of customs data, importers and exporters are now required to upload online all information required by customs. Chamberlain Peter told BCN News that, like any project, there are and were challenges. Chief among them are organisational and legal challenges, such as an outdated customs law. Last year, customs officials spent months training the stakeholders in the private sector on how to use the system, sometimes working late into the night and over the weekends.
Just like every project, there are challenges. It's only important that we document those so there are lessons learned. But there are two main challenges that we encountered in our project. We have the organisational challenges. We have the legal challenges. So for our organizational challenges, there's quite a lot, but when it comes to training, the time is the major challenge from our stakeholders. We need to cater for this to time convenient to our stakeholders, even up to midnight or Sundays. We cater for all of these, because if we don't do it and we have a time frame, so these are some of the challenges. For legal challenges, our Customs Act is quite outdated, and we have an incomplete customs bill at hand. So we only need to address what we can and move on for our project to go ahead.
Peter said that this new system will benefit both the government in terms of the collection of revenue, and it will also benefit the stakeholders by making it easier for them to submit their information online and in time.
Every imports is we process it on the system. We are not accepting any manual declaration on this, and that's the only way that we can make use of the system. For the airport, we have launched the SCPAX, which is a software for passenger processing, and it is to help our processing for immigration, processing inward and departing passengers.
The project and installation of Asikura is made possible through the technical assistance of officials from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development and the funding provided by the governments of Australia and New Zealand through the PACER Plus trade agreement.
The Department of Utilities are continuing to address some of the issues affecting power generation and water reticulation. One of the works that the power team is underway with this week is to replace the old power engine with a brand new one. Meanwhile, the UV treatment systems in all the villages are completed, says Director of Utilities Department Clinton Chapman to BCN News earlier this week. Esther Bavihi reports.
BCN News spoke with Director of the Department of Utilities, Clinton Chapman, who explained some of the issues affecting power over the festive season, but have been sorted.
Unbeknown to people over the Christmas period, New Year, the new 1 megawatt generator we have on rental from New Zealand had a catastrophic failure. It's a mechanical issue, and because we have it on rental, it's all covered by warranty. So what we have is we had an engineer come up immediately over Christmas, made a diagnosis to find out what was the cause of the problem, and it's no fault of our end and how we operate the machine. And soon after that, we managed to talk to the New Zealand High Commission and the New Zealand Defence Force, the Secretary of Government Office, to arrange a Hercules to bring up a new engine to install. So what the team has been working over the last few days, since the 3 engineers arrived on Friday, is to pull the old one out and replace the whole engine with a brand new one.
Clinton Chapman said that the issues with the supply of water to the villages continues to be an issue for some villages, including Alofi North, with water pressure issues over the past few days. Chapman said that the Department of Utilities and Water is working on another major project to address the long-standing and much wider problem of a very old water reticulation system around the island. In the meantime, the notice to boil water before drinking remains in place for the island. People are asked, though, to use the water for drinking from the UV treatment systems installed in all villages.
Yes, so we have completed the village systems. We're on to the government departments now. We've installed 3 of those systems. So the water team will be slowly working their way around. There are some site things that we need to take into consideration when we install these systems. But for the village ones, we need to follow up and come back and put up how to use the systems properly, and we'll put up an instruction note in each of those boxes in the village.
The installation of UV treatment systems in the villages was funded by NCEA, the New Government and the Ridge to Reef project. The Department of Utilities is now working towards a major water and sanitation project to be funded by the Australian Government.
The Premier last week told BCN News that the Cabinet or the government has not yet decided on the replacement for outgoing NCEA High Commissioner to New Zealand, Honourable Fisa Pihingia. BCN News understands Honourable Fisa Pihingia will be returning to the island in March, having served for 6 years as NCEA's High Commissioner in Wellington. Esther Bavihi spoke with Premier Dalton Tagelangi last week.
Premier Dalton Tagelangi told BCN News last week that the government Cabinet have yet to make a decision as to who the next High Commissioner to Wellington will be. He said the government will also need some time to assess the office and the residents of the High Commissioner in Wellington.
We haven't got that far yet. We're concentrating on other matters that had to be completed from his side of things with our other partners outside, and also to ensure that the transition will get him home first, and then ensure that, because we need to do a sort of full survey of the house itself, if it, what are the condition of the premises now. So, but we haven't decided on the replacement yet, because we're going to have to work on a replacement that works with the government, and someone that not follow but can see where we're going into the future. Especially, mostly it's the communication with our partners outside of New Zealand. I think that's the key to the post. It's someone that is proactive in that. And proactive, as you know, I think I already made my intentions clear, not only raising our profile and our status on international, but be part of the United Nations. I think that's the key, and that is some of these things that I'm working hard towards to get that. I think that's important for us and for this country moving forward.
Premier Tagilangi said that the government is keen to expand its diplomatic missions abroad and is looking also and considering to establish diplomatic relations with Fiji, given the increasing number of Fijians being recruited to work for the government, and also the fact that most of the regional organizations or crop agencies that provide support to the government are based in Suva. Having an office in Suva will also help the Niue students who are studying at the universities like the University of the South Pacific and Fiji National University.
The police were not notified of the death of the former Common Role Member of Parliament, the late Pastor Poni Kapanga, hence the reason they were absent at the burial to perform the gun salute as per protocol. BCN News understands that an investigation into the incident is being conducted by the Public Service Commission. Last week, Premier Dalton Tagilangi was put on the spot and had to apologize for the family of the late former MP. Here's Esther Pavihi with more on this story.
Chief of Police Timothy Wilson, in response to questions from BCN News, said that the police department was not notified that a former member of the Whanokipule had passed away. This was why the police department was not present at the funeral. The Public Service Commission this afternoon confirmed that they are undergoing an investigation into the incident. It is not clear which department is responsible for organising the protocols required when a former member of the Whanokipule has passed away. What is clear, though, is that not many public servants are aware of who the former members of parliament are, especially those who served in the first 30 years of the Whanokipule. Something that needs to be addressed before the island, and indeed the government will next year celebrate 50 years of the Constitution which established the Whanokipule, and remember those who serve as members of the whānau.
Shipping company Matson has reintroduced the MV Olomana to their fleet servicing the South Pacific. In an email to their customers and stakeholders last month, Matson said that reintroducing the MV Olomana to join the MV Imua 2 and MV Liloa 2 is to meet the increasing demand. Here's more on this story.
The three vessels will service the South Pacific from Auckland to the large ports of Suva, Tonga and Apia, and also includes the services to Niue and the Cook Islands. According to Matson's statement, the three vessels will enhance their service to the South Pacific by offering a 10-day rotation as opposed to the original 14-day rotation. The new service with MV Olomana Voyage 144 is estimated to depart Auckland on the 16th of February.
The Niue darts team, who left the island last week for the third South Pacific Darts Championships held in Tonga, successfully completed their campaign, which ended last Friday, claiming 17 medals in total from both the men's and ladies' teams. Although the team was expected to return on Monday this week, the Niue Darts Association President Dempster Tomailunga told BCN News on Monday morning that the team will not be arriving until Friday tomorrow. Here's more on this story. Dempster Tomailunga told BCN News that the aircraft, which carried their team and supporters of 26 passengers plus a young infant, had detected a fault resulting in the aircraft being put under review. Dempster was only informed on Sunday evening last week at their farewell dinner that the aircraft had a broken engine, which would not be possible for the team to return to Niue on Monday as planned. The team and supporters will be arriving via New Zealand to Niue tomorrow, said Dempster. Upon their arrival, the team will be bringing home a total of 17 medals, 9 silver medals from the ladies' team and 8 bronze medals from the men's. Niue Darts Association President Dempster Tomailunga said he is very thankful and happy for both the Niue men's and women's teams for their achievements. And that is our news bulletin for tonight. Do join us again next Tuesday for our Wangahau Niue Bulletin with Esther Pavihi. Until then, wishing you all a very beautiful weekend. Good evening.